Yo, Rana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. I hope you're all doing well. In this episode, the 150th episode of the main career, it's going to be an international one. Almost fittingly, a kind of international 150th episode, because we're going to be taking over the Austral Islands national side, the nation that, the team we picked first, the Rotary Humpbacks, produces players for, so we'll be picking potentially quite a few of our past players and including them in the squad. It's not competitive. These friendly matches we're going to play in this episode, we've got two international friendly matches. There is actually a Totengeki Wings match that falls in between. I'll just play that kind of off camera to keep this in the character of the kind of national the theme that we've got going on. So I arranged a series of friendlies. I'll show you the schedule. You can see a couple of them here. So in this November, we've got a match against Pakistan and a match against North Korea. Now the reason why I've gone for that is if you go back historically, all the matches that are played have been played against teams from Oceania or Polynesia, from the teams we created. So Vanuatu, American Samoa, Fiji, Tuvalu, New Zealand, as well as sort of the Gambier, Kiribati, teams like that. So nobody outside that kind of circle, really. No one outside of Oceania. So I thought, first of all, let's try and see how we do against some of the bigger teams, so we get a proper test. So our ranking, I think, is 157th. Yep, so 157th in the world rankings. So what I decided to do is, based on that, everyone we play in a friendly is going to be above us in the rankings at the time of arranging the friendly anyway. So I put them all together, went through and tried to find a range of teams that were a combination of higher than us in the rankings, had some potential, but hopefully won't completely destroy us when we play them. So I want us to go up the rankings to help improve things sort of in the domestic scene. I think that's how it works as well, alongside the kind of youth setup, the youth importance, the reputation of the leagues and the facilities of the clubs. I also think the ranking might have an effect on the actual production of youth prospects for your nation. So you can see we're above a few teams. I don't think there's any big teams that is surprising we're above. Above Malta, is that surprising? I don't know. Above Gibraltar, always good to know. Above San Marino, bottom of the ranked sides. The rest of these sides here are all non-FIFA members, so they're not ranked, but they do play international matches. So that's what we've got. So in the schedule, like I said, we've got Pakistan and North Korea, and then in the new year, well, in June next year, which is the next available time for friendlies, we've got India and Luxembourg. And if we look at the teams we're playing, we've got Pakistan, who are, I think, 91st. No, 132nd. Completely off base there. Is it North Korea that are 91st? 77th. I don't know where I got 91st from. Yeah, anyone else? Is it... India must be higher than 91st. 95th. My last option is Luxembourg. Are they 91st? No, 152nd. So basically I just went mad there and picked a random number. But those are the teams we've got to play against. And it's a range of kind of variety. I imagine we may struggle against them all. But we shall see. We've got a good kind of potential pool to pick from. This is what's recommended. This is what's already in the squad. What I'm going to do, and this might make the episode a bit longer, but I'm completely fine with that. Highlight everyone. I'm going to think they're all in the national pool, so I don't have to worry about that. It's fine. Highlight them all. Get rid of them. Remove from the squad. I'm going to work with a blank slate for this because I don't want to be using players in the past that aren't any good. The national pool's probably fairly big. What I probably will do is I'll go to the scouting, look for the players, basically, don't know which overview is this. One of the things we'll do, we'll sort by value. And then, sorry, I'm not doing this very well, am I? I'm just trying to highlight everyone so I can add them all to the national pool if they're not already there, but I think they are all in the national pool. Yep, I think they're all in the national pool. That's fine then. That's easy enough. I'll probably use this rather than the actual national pool search, just because I don't think the national pool search is fantastic. The only good thing I think, and actually let's use the national pool because you get national pool reports and things like that. The only good thing I think we've got here that we don't get in the other bits is this kind of feedback about how many available we have in each position. So you can see there probably the thinnest area for us is that defensive midfield position. Now what I'm thinking of doing, because we've got some decent strikers and some decent attacking midfielders and midfielders, I'm thinking of trying to copy a particular, well, I'm going to develop it, I'm not going to copy from something else, but what I'm trying to do is, if you've ever read Inverting the Pyramid, there's a chapter on, I think it's called Angels, or the Angels with Dirty Faces, which is named after the Argentinian national side, 1965 or 1954, something around about then, which was a kind of an attacking Argentinian side that pushed their luck in terms of the laws of the game. So they have Angels with Dirty Faces because they were kind of, I think, being kind, you say mischievous, when really they were just fouling people as well, breaking the rules a little bit. But they were kind of attacking flair. They were the full-on Argentinian side in their kind of pomp, La Nostra sort of style before they lost, I think it was Czechoslovakia or something like that, in a shock match, and then they became much more conservative, much more kind of European and about simplicity in passing rather than the kind of attacking verve. Although that's changed over time, but that's what we're going with. So what I'm thinking of doing is going for this 4-defender formation, and we basically want 2 up front, 1 behind, then 3 in the middle, I think. Like this. So this is what we're going to go with. This will do us. We're going to tweak it, obviously. So in terms of this kind of tactic, what it had is it had width from some attacking wingbacks, which we're going to put in as attacking wingbacks. I'm not convinced we actually have many attacking wingbacks, but we'll go for that. What I'm going to do with the central defenders is make them no-nonsense. I'm going to give them instructions to get it long in a second. In terms of these 2 positions, what we're going to do is have 2 2 of these, 2 shutlers. Or are they Mazzalas? I can't remember if they were Mazzalas or Relayos. Right, we'll do that. I'm pretty sure it's them. Pretty sure. It could be Mazzalas. It's between this and Mazzalas, basically. I cannot remember for the life of me. So we'll have 2 of them on support. In the middle, what we'll have is more of a kind of defensive midfielder. So probably... yeah. I think we're going to have a central midfielder on defend. I was really tempted to put ball-winning midfielder in, but I think one of the things that happens in FM is if you have too many specialised roles, sometimes you can overlook just the good simplicity of the bog standard roles, the kind of almost blank roles. And we'll play around with the settings for this. Then what I'll probably have up here is a shadow striker on attack. We'll have a false 9. And then we'll probably have up here maybe a poacher or pressing forward. Let's have a pressing forward on attack because that works quite nicely. So in terms of what we're going to get everyone to do here is, when we look at the instructions for the no-nonsense centre backs, we want their passing to be more direct if possible, but we want them to tackle hard. I don't think there's anything else we can get them to do. Taking fewer risks already. Maybe if we move them to... So actually, we're just going to switch them back to central defenders, make sure they've got more direct on. Passing risks. Actually make them take more risks. And they're going to tackle harder, that will do. This might seem a bit counterintuitive, and it could well be, I could be completely wrong. But hopefully what this is going to do is allow them to take more, play more long balls. We've got potentially 3 players up front, plus extra ones coming to support them. So putting the ball in the mixer is going to work as well. So let's move that back to central on defend and change these. Should do the trick. In terms of the complete wing backs, is there anything we want to change here? I don't think we want to change the passing directness. We still want them to tackle harder. In terms of aiming their crosses, so this is the one on the right. So I'm going to get them to go for the far post. And I want them to shoot less often. The one on the left, I want them to aim far post as well. Shoot less often, tackle harder. See how that goes. In terms of the corridor, we don't want to change the passing particularly. Everyone's going to tackle harder. Happy for them to take more risks, shoot less often. Perfectly fine. We've got them to stay wider. What we might look to do in the friendlies is work out whether actually we need them to get further forward, or we just have this off and have them in a different kind of position. Central midfield and defend. We're going to get him to go more direct because hopefully he's going to be dropping back a little bit. Tackling harder, less often, dribble less. More risks with his passing. Shadow striker. Make him do shorter passing. Tackle harder as well. Allow him to run from his position a little bit. False 9. Really just tackle harder on. And he's already got tackle harder on for the pressing forward. So that's what we're going to do with the actual main sort of structure of it. So the idea is these wing backs will give us the width. The shuttlers will help us move the ball up here. The false 9 will hopefully draw players away for the shadow striker to push forwards, and the pressing forwards should be able to sniff around for any long balls that come through. This probably won't work at all. It's probably going to be a complete disaster. In terms of when we're in possession, we're going to attack a little bit wide. Happy for us to pass into space. Want standard passing. Standard tempo. Never want a time waste. Happy for us to try and work the ball into the box if we need to. So, I'll take that. I don't think we need either of these. We can leave these as just want width. We won't add too many instructions. We can add afterwards. When we've won, I want us to counter. I think we should probably counter press. Just give it to the fullbacks and roll it out to them because they're complete fullbacks, wing backs. So I think that will help. Or anyone around the back, actually. Out possession. has to press fairly urgently. And use offside traps. And get stuck in. So there we go. Let's call this. Let's see if it has. There's lots of variations of different kind of tactics. Let's call this just Australs, because it's the Austral ones. Just Austral again. And I'll sort out the kind of set pieces kind of off camera, just to save us time, because I've been doing this for a little while now. So what I'm going to do now is, now we've got our kind of tactic that we're going to try and work with, I'm going to get the players in, so I'll come back in just a second and show you who we've brought through. Okay, so we're back. I've picked the squad and I've moved forward to the match, which didn't take too long, it wasn't that far away. So you can see the other friendlies that have been on today. Somalia beating Djibouti, I can never say that right, 5-1. Northern Mariana losing 3-0 to Nepal, and Kiribati losing 3-0 to Vanuatu. So all the big games, definitely worth shelling out for your football subscription to watch these. And we've got Pakistan to play. Let's look at the squad briefly before we get into the match. A selection of players, a few from our teams, a few from Humpbacks, a few from Aurea, and a couple of other squads. Everyone apart from one player actually has a team. So in terms of the goalkeepers, we've got Ahmed Smith, who's actually got 9 caps already. We've got Tom Bothwell, who used to play for us as well, who's got 1 cap, but looks okay, playing for Mopia. And then we've got Nicholas Oram, who's our kind of youth option. So probably I'm going to be favouring Smith and Oram when playing the matches, because they both look to be the best. There weren't many other options. And also Oram's actually a giant, he's 6'4". In terms of defence, we've got Mark McIntyre, used to play for us for the Humpbacks, who doesn't look like he's anything particularly special, but he's got 61 caps, so he's fairly experienced. We've got Sean Smith playing for Marquesas Islands with 45 caps. We've got Sam Thomas playing for Mopia, who's got no caps yet, so he's a kind of youth prospect, but he looks like he might have some potential, especially when it comes to the mental attributes. Henry Hunter playing for the Eels, who has no caps as well, but looks quite good in the physical and the mental attributes. Daniel Smith, who plays for Naruto, who is a kind of youth one we've thrown in. We've got a bit of criticism for getting young players, but to be honest, all the other kind of backup or fringe defenders that were older weren't actually much better, so we might as well give him a go. Phil Lamb, probably going to play on the left for us. Jordan Dunn from the Humpbacks to also play on the left. And Sam Porter, who's definitely going to start on the right for us. Thinking about it, he is much better than any other option on the right. We've also got Glenn Palanthorpe playing for Moria, who will probably start as well with 30 caps. How many does Sam Porter have? He's got 42, so we've got a lot of experience as well along the back. We've got Jesse Thomas, he used to play for us, 6 caps. We'll say he used to play for Uru2. We've got Chris Hersig, again, I think he's a Uru2 product. Plays in midfield, he's kind of more backup, I think. Luke McCormack, who might sit in that kind of defensive role that Jesse Thomas might also sit in quite well. He's one of the kind of well-rated potential players that we had come through at Uru2. Got 40 caps, so he is fairly respected. We've got Spearling, who will probably start. How many caps does he have again? 64. Nick Easthope, even though we don't really have a right winger, we've got him there as a bit of an option. Got 3 caps. Dave Kerr, who we might probably start along with Spearling, even though we're going to be a bit biased, I guess. Anthony Wallace, who looks like he has potential. And then up front, we've got 3 outright options. I feel like I'm missing some players that I could have included. Never mind. Nathan Wilkinson, who looks reasonable, 7 caps. Matt Payne, who is our best striker, I think. And Alex O'Brien, who also looks pretty good. I do think we actually missed out. I think I've actually messed up right from the start. Why didn't I get Wallace? Have I missed something? Is Wallace not actually... No, Wallace is Australese as well. Just for some reason I don't think he appeared when I was doing my search. Or maybe I just didn't rate him well enough. So we'll go to the match. I don't think we're going to beat them. And I don't think this tactic's going to work out of the box. But we'll see. She's saying Oram's better than Smith. No, let's do it. Oram can start. On the right, Sam Porter's going to come in. On the left, let's play Lamb. Centre of defence, we'll have Sean Smith and Pallenthorpe. We'll have Spearling as the Carolera. And on the other side, we'll have... Ooh, Dave Kerr's not being particularly rated in that role. Hersig's got a slightly better... Let's go for Hersig then. And then central midfielder defend. Let's put Luke McCormick in there. I'm quite happy with that, actually. Shadow striker. I didn't really think about. I've not actually got a good option to put in there. Really done myself over with that. Let's put in Kerr or Wallace. I think Kerr, because of his player preferred move, is get into the opposition box. Pressing forward, going to be Payne. False 9 will be O'Brien. Apparently we're weakest on this side. Not surprised at all. Let's get the rest of these in. I'm assuming we'll get like a full... Which apparently we're missing player. I don't know if we just forgot to... Maybe we only put 21 in the squad rather than 22. No, that's 22. Never mind. We'll see how this goes. This is going to be a long episode. My apologies for this, but it is the 150th. So they don't have many real players. Shahid. In fact, if I just go there and look at the squad itself, only got one real player. So maybe we will do it. And they're 131st, so they're about 20 odd places above us. They're going 4-3-3, and we've obviously got our 4-3-1-2. Yeah, let's see how this goes. Playing at the Appiah Stadium, which is our international stadium. Chance to impress everyone. Special day. It's his 50th appearance, Phil Lamb, so I quite like on our 150th episode we're giving Phil Lamb his 50th cap for the Austral Islands. And out we come. Big crowd here to see this friendly. Back to McCormick, out to Lamb. Let's see what we can do. Feeling a bit more invested in this international job than I did the Marquesas job, just because I know more of the players from managing Urutu. Porter, it's going to be a big player for us. Over to Lamb, back in. Porter, they're just going backwards and forwards with that. Oh, Shahid looks like he might be free. That is a good goal. Is that terrible keeping or is that a good goal? There's no reason why it can't be both, to be honest, but that feels a little bit... I mean, the angle's pretty amazing. He's only just in the box. Okay, not the greatest of starts, but it was a very kind of Route 1 goal plus. It was Route 1 plus really good finish. Hersig to Lamb, getting across. There was no one quite there. Go on, Kerr. Oh, come on. Some promise there. It's drizzling and it's 14 degrees. This is actually quite cold for Polynesia. We've got possession, not necessarily doing much with it. Okay, McCormick and Sean Smith. So from the set piece, that is our first international goal as Austral Islands manager. McCormick to Sean Smith. Nice and simple. Clean set piece routine. We're keeping possession. We're not seeing much in the way of actual highlights. I don't want to make the match much longer than it is because this video will go on and on. But we do have the match against North Korea as well, so we can have a look and see how this tactic holds up. Okay. I have to make some subs just to keep people happy. I've got 45 instructions on Matt Payne. Let's bring on Nathan Wilkinson. Let's go with that. So we've not got any wingers really in the squad, apart from Nick Easthope, but he's just there because he can play in the hole behind the strikers. Spearling, Hersig, back again. O'Brien almost. Not quite close enough to follow up. I just realised something. I've not changed the mentality. It's balanced. Attacking. Maybe that's why we've got lots of possession but nothing to show for it. Lamb goes long, Wilkinson chasing it down. There is no one really to pass it to. Brian did get to it eventually. Oh, Brian's a bit rubbish, isn't he? Oh, come on. That's poor keeping. Oram was a mistake, wasn't he, to start? Next match, Smith goes in. Oram can be the understick, because look at this, it's not... He was positioned well enough that he should have been able to stop that. Porter driving forwards. A wide, Lamb's there. O'Brien managed to get in after I've been absolutely slacking him off. And back to 2-2. I'm okay with this. The width did come from Lamb there. Completely unmarked as well. It was weird keeping. I don't know what the keeper was doing there, but that's fine. We'll take it. I'm going to make some subs in a bit. Yeah, we've not got many... Well, we've no wingers in the squad because we don't use them, but also in our national pool, we didn't have a huge amount of really good ones. We had Paul Manuel, who I think is good, but we didn't really have any backup left wingers who were good. Left wing's always difficult. Porter, back to Smith, Palanthorpe to Kerr. Almost. Let's get some other people in. Let's get Wallace on for Kerr. Daniel Smith on for him. McIntyre on for Porter. Jordan Dunn. Lamb. Chris Hersig. Put Jesse Thomas on for him. Move them around. That's not quite right. Let's see how we do. Two all's a decent start there. And looking at the match stats, more possession, more shots. I do think we've perked up a bit since we've gone attacking. Still knocking it around alright. Oh, done, almost. Bit of a teaser, that bit. Long throw in. No joy with that. passing around quite nicely. I wonder if the team's missing some of those crosses just because they're not used to the formation yet. Oh, Thomas from distance. Come on, don't let them get anywhere with this. Good tackle. That was a good run. Oh, beautiful. I mean, that looked like a good tackle to me, but the run deserves something. Come on. Come on. Yes, just. And I think we have just seen the winner. I don't need to see that again. If you look at the match stats, we deserved to win, I think. We played well. That's a really promising start. I'm quite happy with that. Good win. 20 places above us. First time we played a side outside of Oceania and we won 3-2. Making a bit of history there. So I'm going to stop here and we'll come back for the North Korea match in just a second. Thanks very much. So we're back for the North Korea match. I've actually paused and been asleep and come back to this because I wanted to pay proper attention to it. We've gone up a few places in the world rankings in the few days that have passed between the Pakistan match and this match. We're 154th, which is a record high for the Austral Islands, so we're already making an impact. There were a few international matches played, so friendlies and competitive matches played in the last few days, which made me realise something. The Austral Islands have been knocked out of the Oceania Nations Cup, which is going on in the background. And we're also not in the World Cup qualifiers. We don't seem to have qualified for them. So they're currently going on for the 2028 qualifying series. So we're not in there either. So we've actually probably got a while until we play a competitive match. But that just means we've got more time to prepare. It'll be a longer while until we actually manage to get to a World Cup, if at all. But it just means we've got more time to prepare. So we've got North Korea. These will be an interesting match to play. They're up in the 70s in the world rankings. If you look at their team, even though their form has just been described as woeful, they've got Ri Jong-min. This for April 25, which I think is a team in North Korea. And April 25 being like one of the revolutionary dates or whatever. He looks pretty good. He doesn't have a contract though. I wonder if I could sign him. You know, just for 6'5" as well. Nah, he's not interesting. That's fair enough. He's far too good. And Han Kwang-song, who's a real player, 93 caps, 52 goals, worth 3.5 million and playing for Spal in Italy. So they're good. Well, I imagine he's quite good. We'll have to see how we do. So Oram, let's bring off Ahmed Smith. He struggled a little bit in the last match. Everyone's kind of tired, but actually this is probably our strongest squad, and Payne's going to have to come off at half time anyway, so we'll start with him. See how we do. I think what I need to do when I'm looking for the next sort of friendly squad, or the next squad I put together, is for someone who can sit in this hole perhaps more naturally as a shadow striker. Kerr's there at the moment, he'll be fine, but be better. Or could we swap the role to some kind of advanced playmaker or something like that? Well, I know what I forgot to do. And not many people watching this match either. This is what we needed. I have to change down the actual tactics. I'll keep forgetting otherwise. Don't know quite what to expect, but Pakistan was quite a tough match. We only won it right at the end, and they're only about 20 places above us in the rankings. I only had one real player. Admittedly, North Korea have only got 2 real players, but they are much higher in the rankings than we are. Lamb goes long, Payne back into Hersig. That looked like it could have been awesome. It was a nice little move. Terrible finish right at the end, but nice little move. Spearling's picked up his yellow card. Hersig. O'Brien. Nice. Porter's free. Back out, but Payne snuck it in. Yeah, you celebrate that. I think this is the highest ranked team we'll have ever scored against. I'll have to check what New Zealand's ranking is. They're the biggest team in Oceania. Yep, and Payne was alive to it. I think we've deserved it. Look at the match stats. We're getting more shots off. Just edging the possession. Better highlights as well. It's not been the most entertaining match, but it's been alright. In it goes. On Spearling. Post. Payne. Offside? I don't know. He did something wrong. That was promising. Spearling got the post. Payne was there to pick it up. He's just, I'm assuming, offside or has fouled someone. Hope something terrible doesn't happen to the North Korean players because they've lost. McCormack. In. Porter with the, I don't know what it was. Baekhyun Choi. He's the real player. Managed to save it. That's their first real opportunity. Hopefully we can get rid of this corner. There we go. Safe hands from Smith. It's 2028 though, so maybe North Korea isn't a dictatorship anymore. Maybe things have changed. I'm getting slightly more into it now. Our defence is still struggling. But Ahmed Smith is there as the last line of defence. There we go. Come on, let's just get to half time. They've got back into it. They have made it a little bit worrying for us. Created more chances than us and clear-cut chances. But I really just don't trust this as a statistic. Right. Guard against complacency. Payne's going to have to come off. Normally I don't care too much about angering the clubs, but actually since I don't have a competitive match for a while, I might as well try and be ever so slightly nice to them. Let's bring Spearling off because he's got that yellow card. Yeah, I don't know how everyone else does international kind of call-ups. Generally I ignore the kind of 45-minute only rule for players if I'm in the run-up to a competition. Because then at the end of the day, even if they decide to withdraw them from the squad or complain, I'm going to be calling them up for the real thing soon anyway, so I'm not really losing them. But if they start withdrawing them because I've not been listening to them and I've got another couple of years till a properly competitive match, apart from the Atoll Championship, which gets played every year, it gets a bit difficult then to plan around things. 70th minute, we'll make a few more subs. Come on, get it out properly. Close. Riding our luck ever so slightly. And Jordan Dunn, we should bring in for the defence. Sam Thomas. Or Daniel Smith. Or Henry Hunter. Probably Henry Hunter. He's got more top flight experience. Or us on for Sean Smith. Jesse Thomas on for McCormack. Easthope, I think, can come on for Kerr. That's pretty much everything then. I mean, we probably can make a few more subs, but don't really need to. Let's see if we can bring McIntyre on. The Nick Easthope showing up as a winger, even though I'm playing in that kind of whole shadow striker role. I think one of the things I'm going to tweak in the tactic, and I'll do it just after this video just so you can see my thinking, is not swap around, but come on, Porter. Wallace. Just get one more goal, make it look comfortable when it's not really been. Or keep hold of the ball and don't give it away. Oh, that's a good ball in. That was a good move generally. And Hunter did alright there. It's left him hopelessly out of position, but he tried. No. I mean, I can't really complain because we've got that soft penalty in the last match. I don't think that was really in the area. There we go. Okay, so I'm not going to be too sad at a 1-0. That's 1-0. 1-1 draw against the team that is basically about 70 places above us in the rankings. I'm a little bit put out by the fact that happened in the 89th minute is a little bit of a soft penalty. But, we'll take it. It's not bad. We still kind of, on balance, we did well. It was a close match, I guess, in the end. They had plenty of chances. Yeah, it's been like, we can't be mean to them for losing that. Well, not even losing that, for losing the lead and ending up with a draw in the end. Denied by late goal. So we've moved up to 153rd now. More questions than answers. They all leave in reasonable spirits. I just want to see if it's updated the rankings. No, 100. That's the most recent ranking. 153rd. So when we started off the game, Austral Islands were 194th. No, they were 202nd. See, that's the difference for those rankings. So from 202nd to 153rd currently, that's pretty good going. I'll be happy enough with that. We just get the tactics like I mentioned. This is what I've been thinking about overnight whilst I've been... The Shadow Strike is meant to kind of... Where's the... There we go. So it aggressively pushes into goal scoring position. But then the false 9 kind of drops back a bit. What I'm thinking of doing, maybe making this false 9 a target man. Support. And bear with me, the thinking for this is, aside from the fact I just love having a target man in the side, is he can lay the ball off. So if he becomes like the main focus point for any long balls, for example, he can lay it off to the pressing forward who's going to be quite advanced. Or he can lay it back or into space for the Shadow Striker to come through and attack with. Edit his instructions a bit. Actually going to make him shoot less often. I think we really need to get him to do anything else. I'll be fine. Yeah, so hopefully that tweak will work. We've not got any international matches for a little while now, until June. I will. I'll try and arrange some friendlies for March. So we want teams that are above us. So still anything from 150 onwards is above. And let's try... Belarus and Republic of Ireland are going to be too hard to play. Let's try... Well, I've gone too far. I want someone who's not going to be easy, but is still above us, but gives us a chance of winning. So let's say St. Kitts and Nevis, another island side, just over in the Caribbean. So try that. So we'll have Belarus and St. Kitts and Nevis in March, and then India and Luxembourg in June. All teams that are above us. Some of them are potentially beatable, so I think St. Kitts and Nevis we should be able to beat. Belarus, India and Luxembourg kind of on the fence with them, but they might be a little bit harder. But we'll end there, so thanks very much for watching this international 150th episode. It has gone a little bit long. I'm sorry about that, but I was just enjoying this one. It's an international one, it's a bit different. I had to set up the tactic, and the other international ones won't be quite as long because we don't have any tactics. So that should be fine. So yeah, thanks very much. Thanks for watching the series. Appreciate it as always. Do like and subscribe if you are enjoying it, and come and talk to me on Twitter or read some of my stuff on Dictate the Game if you like.
you.